Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome back to my channel. That is not my neck, that is an orange shirt that I'm wearing. Anyway, welcome back to another Samira Reads. This is going to be February recap, and I'm going to do it a little bit different this time. I'm going to be reading, reviewing, because that makes more sense, right? So I'm going to talk about the Mine series. It's a 5-book series, and I've read it and finished it in 2 days. The reason why it was 2 days is because it shouldn't really have been 2 days. It was the first book I started and I finished on a 2-hour journey ride on the train back from Birmingham. And guys, my mind was blown and my mouth was touching the seat. Because by the time we pulled up into Euston station, I was like, I need more. But again, I'm going on the other underground. There's no internet. Who's downloading book number 2? So without further ado, this 5-book series, right, was absolutely amazing. I don't really think it's not really 5 books. When I say that, it sounds like a lot of pages, but it's not. The first book was around less than 200. The second book was like 98 pages, something like that. So it's like altogether, I want to give it 600-700 pages together as the 5 books. So it's not really that long. Lana is our main character. Lana Myers, aka Victoria, aka Kennedy. Yeah, she goes by a lot of names. She is a serial killer, guys. Oh my god, I know. I didn't even know that's what the book was about. Wallahi, I just started it because I saw so many people talk about it, and it was really, really, had amazing reviews on it. So I just thought I didn't want to watch what they said. I just knew, like, on the titles, on the TikToks, on the YouTubers, there's like a lot of people that reviewed it, and I was like, girl, I agree with everything they said. This book was mind-blowing. When the train pulled up to Euston, I was like, I felt like I just said that, but literally, I need more. So Lana is a serial killer, and she bumps into the first few pages into the FBI named Logan Bennett, and he is an FBI agent out here trying to get rid of all the bad people and save the innocents. He's trying to deprive the world of losers and killers. And who was she? She's a serial killer. How's that gonna work? Well, it somehow kind of doesn't at the same time. I don't want to say too much because I want you guys to read this, but so he's working on the case that she's committing. Yeah, I like that too. So she's on a revenge sort of thing. Something happened in her childhood, so she's out here trying to kill everyone that done her wrong. So it does kind of make sense. It does play on your morals, but not really, because you do agree with her because the law failed her, hence why she's doing it and taking it upon herself to kill these people. Now, I want you guys to go and read this book because it doesn't matter what I say, I can't do it justice. It's so good. But the saddest thing about this book is the author. She died. I didn't know this because I literally wanted to go and research more to do with Stabby. Also, the author's name is S.T. Abbey, which is Stabby. I know, right? So I just want to tell you guys should go and read more about this book on your own terms, Totally recommend. So what am I going to be reading next? I don't know. I'm pulled up, as you guys see. I'm in the car. I'm about to go inside, and I'm deciding between Beach Readers, Honeymooners, and Once Upon a Broken Heart. Now, Once Upon a Broken Heart, the reason why, as I'm talking, I don't really want to read it right now because it's a 2-series book, and I feel like if I start it now and it's really good, I need to download the other one. Whereas I can just bang Beach Reads and Honeymooners right now. We'll see. I'll let you guys know as what I do. But yeah, I think this is much easier for me to talk and thinking. I reviewed each book, if I didn't say this, 5 stars, all 5 books. And yeah, it's really, really good. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Hi guys, I told you guys yesterday that I will let you guys know what I end up reading. Next, I got my sister-in-law and my husband, I was going to say my brother, my husband, to kind of go through my TBR list on Goodreads. Sorry, that's a weird angle. And they end up settling on The Inheritance Game. I really didn't want to read this right now because it's a series, but since 2 people kind of said I should read it, I ended up giving it a try. I'm 10% in on chapter 5, and I am absolutely glad that they picked it. I was actually happy. I told them, I'm glad you picked this book, because the first chapter I was already captivated. I was so into it, and yeah, so far I don't know much, but there's a guy that she's playing chess within the first chapter, and I think that's the guy that she inherited. She's gonna get the inheritance money from. Not sure too much, to be fair. But yeah, so far so good. She's intelligent. She has got a sister that is 10 years older than her, I think, or 7 years. 10 years, 7 years, something around those line. And I read it the 4 chapters yesterday, so that's why I'm kind of like, I can't remember how many years it was. And on top of that, this guy just put into a principal's office and says that, what the hell, have you not read the letters I've been sending you? And turns out Libby has been kind of ignoring the letters because it kind of gives a scammy vibe. So the letter basically said that you are due to inherit a lot of money. You need to come to the will hearing. So that's where she's currently going, and they're getting flown out to Texas, baby. Houston, Texas, baby. Anyway, so that's where we are, and yeah, I'll let you guys know how I get on with it. So far, so good. It's just the fact that it's 3 books is kind of on the back of my mind, and I'm like, I've got other books to read right now to make my February TBR list. So yeah, I'll let you guys know how I get on. So far, so good. So far, 4 chapters in, I recommend. So let's see how my opinion changes as we go on. Stay tuned. Okay, so it's currently super late. It's not that late, but it's 10:19 and I'm on chapter 43, 50% in the book. And am I team Grayson or Jamie? It's just, I don't know. Like before chapter 42, I guess I would have said Jamie, but now I'm like, but they think the same, him and, her and Grayson. I'm a bit conflicted, but anyway, so far a lot has happened, which I would have expected, watching K-dramas and stuff. If someone inherits that much of money, all the drama that comes with it. Sorry, I can't tell if my phone is straight. Again, it's black and white because it is past 10 p.m. But so far so good. Like the amount of things that happened to her, and Libby, her sister, her ex-boyfriend or whatever, talking to the media and telling them everything about Avery. And now that he basically said that she kind of slept with the old guy to get all the billions inheritance, which obviously is not true. I'm in the back of my mind the whole time wondering why her, what happened. And I'm in the back of my mind as well, I'm thinking, is it the old guy Harry that she played chess with? And I just can't, because I don't know. But she played with Harry a few days because it can't be him. She played with him like that morning or the morning before. And these guys have been trying to get in touch for weeks, so I'm still baffled. And I don't know how people say halfway through the book you get bored, because I'm not bored. I'm a bit like, what is happening? And how do they get bored? Like, these relationships are developing. I get why people say, like, they don't know who to kind of be on, like, whose team they're on, like, Team Grayson or Jamie and stuff like that. So, still recommend. I am Team Jamie right now, but, I mean, I'm Team Grayson now. You know what? I'm like 49% Jamie, 51 Grayson. We'll see if that changes. So yeah, so far so good. Yeah, I want to see what more happens. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in a bit. It's currently 10:22 right now. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay awake. Tomorrow's a school day for Zaid. He slept here because the light wasn't on the whole time. The light was off. But yeah, chat to you guys and update you guys just before I go to sleep, I guess. Or maybe in the morning. This is what happens every time I say I'm gonna go to bed. It's 1:06. I think the last time I checked in was like 10 o'clock. I finished the book and I'm like, I knew it. I knew Harry from page number 1 had something to do with the book. Turns out he's Tobias, the missing child, and I was like, they're like, at least he's something. I wasn't going crazy. And it's actually crazy how far back the grandfather thought about it. Sorry, I'm whispering. Everyone's asleep. And I'm there like, I get it, but then now I'm like, I'm Team Grayson. I've decided I am Team Grayson. I get why there's like a bit of a conflict here, because I'm like, she was like, Grayson, putting her hand on his chest, and he was there like, I can't. I'll protect you forever, but there can't be an us. How are you protecting me forever if we've never had us? It's really, really good. I will probably start book number 2 tomorrow. I can't start it now. It's madness if I start it now. Do I plan to sleep at all? Like, that's absolutely crazy. So that's the plan. I'm gonna go to bed. It's so exciting. Like, in my head, I'm really curious what happened between Alicia and Nash. You know, when you see the names constantly, you kind of sometimes don't register it properly. Also, like, what the fish is wrong with Rebecca? Also, now I know, speaking of Rebecca, what happened to Emily. I'm like, okay. Because as the story unfolds, you just get like, oh, it's my fault that she died, or like, I watched her die, and like, the other guy's like this, I killed her. Like, why is everyone claiming her death? What is this? And then you get to find a story at the end where they say it to each other, Grayson and Jamie. I keep calling him Jamie, which it is, that's what they call him. But Jamerson? Jamie just sounds so much better. Anyway, this is gonna be, I don't know, I would say like a 4.5 out of 5, 4.5. Obviously, I can't rate that on Goodreads, so I'm gonna give it a 4. I might give it a 5, depending on the overall series, you know? But anyway, it's so good. Like, I'm super excited for the series. I'm glad I started with this. Yeah, so I'm probably just gonna bang out the other 2 books. You know what's so sad? Like, I found out yesterday when they picked the book for me. It wasn't even yesterday, the day before, clearly it's 1 o'clock. That there's gonna be a book 4 coming out on the 31st of August this year, and I'm like, I thought it was only 3 books. Now there's a whole nother book that I have to get. So sad, it's so sad. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed now because I'm running on 0 fuel. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Most likely, probably. Who knows? I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I might start a new book, I might not. I'll let you guys know. Hi guys, it's a new night. I've done my skincare, that's why I'm so shiny. But I am reading the second book of the Inheritance Game, and I'm 22% in. Yes, I know I said I will tell you guys what I'm reading next, and yes, I should have just said it, but it was like, go look for the hijab and stuff. I had to get up anyway right now, so I thought might as well give you guys an update. And okay, Avery, the last book ended with them thinking the mystery was solved, and the fact that the numbers that they found had to do with Emily's death rather than her birth. Like, it is also Avery's birthday, the day that Emily died, so which coincides, I guess. But the boys, Grayson and Jamie, are kind of convinced, like, okay, that's it for the mystery. And she's like, no, that is not it. It cannot be it. That's not that. Like, it has to be more than that. And so it kind of ended with her looking at Nan's, I don't know if I said any of this, but the Nan in the house's locket, and then it showed Harry. Remember Harry, the chess play? I knew he had something to do with it. I think I said all of this. If I didn't, I'm sorry. If I did, I'm sorry. But yeah, he so happens to be the presumed dead uncle. So yeah, so then now in this book, she obviously, when she first inherited the money, she sent money to Harry, but she couldn't. She just asked Alicia, whether she did. Alice or Alicia, I don't know if her name's Alice or Alicia. I call her Alicia. I don't know if that's the name. You know when you give yourself that. I don't know. I know. So she asked the lawyer, and the lawyer said, we couldn't find Harry from the get-go. She was like, oh my god, shit. So then Alexander, aka Xander's letter from his grandfather said, you need to get the 2 boys together to finish the quest, or like the game. And then his second letter said, find Tobias, aka Toby, aka Harry, you know? So then that confirmed Avery's fact that when she looked at the locket to say that is him, the guy she's been playing with for almost a year, to say that, okay, I'm not lying, so Harry is alive. And now with the part I'm at, her and Grayson have been avoiding each other, by the way, the whole time, and she's basically spent a little bit of time with Jamie. Again, I'd rather have Grayson. Xander, Rebecca and Thea are working together, and I'm just there like, I don't know how that's gonna work, but we're gonna watch. And Thea is the Xander and the 3 boys' cousin. Yeah. Anyway, so my thought is, right, so she goes through everything, and now she's at the part where she finds out that there's a high chance that Toby, aka Tobias, aka Harry, might be a father. Interesting, right? Interesting. So that's the part I am at, and I'm kind of like, Harry, darling, when you were playing chess in that first chapter last night, I assumed you'd had a play in this book. Didn't know you would come back from the dead. So now it's kind of like, if Sky, aka Grayson's mom, or her sister Zara, find out that Tobias is still alive, then, and they're trying to find him and bring him back, that kind of, he's the only one that can fight the inheritance, if that makes sense, and make it null by saying I'm alive, you know, so that way the first will kind of, something like that, comes back to life. And Grayson is like, you can't tell them, and she's like, wouldn't, you're the presumed heir, so wouldn't you want to, he's like, they cannot know. She's like, oh my god, it's protecting me. But anyway, battery's at 5%. I'll charge the phone and I'll continue reading, and I'll let you guys know. I hope I stop at a decent time today. Okay. As you guys can see, it's probably late. It's around almost 2 a.m. And I'm kind of like, look at the vein going down my eye. Anyway, I'm mind boggled. Like, Toby is not her father. After all of that, I'm just like, what? She chose Jamie instead of Grayson. Grayson's dad is dead, has been shot. What else? She's been shot at, almost ran off the road, and now a bomb went off, she went into coma, and she kind of heard Grayson and Jamie fight over her. She solved the riddle, and she met Toby face to face, and that's when she found out he's not the dad, but he does have a different child. And Toby is not a Hawthorne. I wasn't even reading the name the whole time. I'm just so baffled. I don't think, the whole time, like, my mind was just racing, and now I'm like, she picked Jamie over Grayson. I don't know how to feel. Genuinely don't know how to feel about that. I feel so sad. I'm so Tim Grayson. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna start book 4. I just read a little bit. I just want to know how it happened, because the mystery ended. The last piece of mystery that they got, or clue or whatever, Toby ended up taking that. So, and he doesn't plan to stay alive, if that makes sense. He's planning to play dead for the rest of his life, I guess. Yeah. Interesting. So yeah. I look quite dead. That's the funny part. But anyway, I'll see you guys in book 3. Good morning, guys. It's 8:50. I took Zay to school.
Very, very yummy.
Very, very yummy. I ended up sleeping at 3 a.m. last night.
Have a chocolate.
I don't want chocolate. I ended up sleeping at 3 a.m. last night. I started the 3rd book, and I realized during I was reading, I was like, did I even end up giving the 2nd book a rating? I'm gonna give it a 4. Just because, I mean, no, I'll go at 4.3. Chocolate. And then this book I started, obviously the 3rd one, the Final Gambit. In my head, I'm like,
Mommy,
she loves Jameson.
Mommy,
Nothing can happen with Grayson.
very yummy.
Very, very yummy. Chocolate. Yeah. Nothing can happen with Grayson is what I'm telling myself. But then when him and the new girl, Toby's real daughter Eve, comes into the picture and moves into, I don't think she fully moves in, but like, they're trying to find Toby. Toby has been kidnapped. The way that him and her, Eve and Grayson, are looking at each other and stuff like that, is kind of ticking her off. Yeah, Mason, you can eat it. So in the back of my head, I'm like, yes, yum, yum, yum. You eat it.
Eat.
Thank you, Miss A. Yeah.
Okay. Eat.
I don't like it. It's the inside of the pear chocolate. Oh, I don't even know how to say it. Ugh. Anyway. Yeah, so I think Avery's feeling some type of way with Grayson and Eve being close in that, because Eve looks like a spin image of Emily. If you guys don't know, Emily's the one that died. That was dating both Grayson and Jamieson, I mean. Jamie. And the boys didn't know that they were both dating Emily. And she kind of played them. And then when they find out, they both didn't want to let go, sort of thing, they turned it into a competition. So then now Jamie said to Avery, if you are, the way you're looking at Grayson, you're jealous. And then she was like, no, I'm not. Makes it eat. So yeah, so then I think Avery is jealous, obviously everyone can tell, and they keep looking at each other in certain ways, and he's just like, every time they look at each other, he's like, we can't be looking at each other like that, sort of thing. So, and something happened, by the way. So in the third book, it keeps going back to a night in the wine cellar or something like that we didn't get to obviously see. So I think they're just giving us snippets. So Jamie just said that I know what happened in the wine cellar, and then Avery said that, what do you think that you know, sort of thing. And then he was like, if you're gonna basically pick me, like I need you to stick with me, sort of thing. And she was like, I will, I'm not going anywhere. In my head I was like, he's such a liar. Let's see how this turns out, but we'll see. So far so good. You don't want to eat chocolate? Okay, I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so it's currently 1:52. As you guys know, this morning I left you guys saying I'm going to read whatever. So I did end up finishing the final gambit, and looking back at all three books, I think I gave the first one 4 stars, which I still stick by. I think it is a 4-star, but then I feel like the fact that Tobias's name has been mentioned over and over and over again, like, it's not like I don't know, okay? I get it. Honestly, I get it. I know he's the mastermind. I know he's the manipulator. I know that he thinks 7 step pieces ahead and 7 freaking... Any game that he's meant, like, this guy was leaving clues for them that he kind of set 22 years ago. Like... 21 years ago, 20 years ago, don't even know. But the more like I read, I guess, the more I'm kind of like, I did not enjoy the final gambit. First of all, let's talk about the fact that we're given us snippets, like making it look like something happened between Grayson and her. Nothing happened. He just had a mental breakdown and she was there for him, and that was about it. And Jamie over here, throughout the whole book, was pushing her and Grayson together, which doesn't make sense, because he's like, I love you. He said it one time, and she said it in her head. She didn't say it. She's like, I know I love Jameson. I know what he's trying to say. Da-da-da-da. And she's never like telling him what she's thinking. And yes, I've got a little cut on my lip because I don't drink enough water. I don't drink water. I need to start drinking water, so just ignore that. But anyway, I am now kind of left a bit empty, because I'm like, I would recommend the series because it plays with your head a bit, but then I'm like, what was the point of Eve? Why get Will Blake in this whole thing, William Blake? But then it makes sense because the riddle or whatever has been mentioned in like the first book, so it kind of makes sense as to why they had to put William Blake in it or something like that. Her mom being called Hannah, the ending of the book. Okay, so Hannah and Tobias's relationship, I'm like, oh, it's so cute. I needed more of that. I really did need more of that. Needed more snippets. I needed more storytelling. But I feel like Tobias was so in and out. By the way, Tobias, by Tobias, I mean like the second, like the son of Tobias, the big one. the dead grandfather. I mean, like his son. Avery's wanted him to be her dad, but it turned out he's not. But anyway, that guy. I feel like I really wanted to know more of what he did and his thought process, because we only got it in poems and like his angriness and blah blah blah, but he didn't get enough screen time, or should I say enough free time. I needed to know more. I wish we got to know more. So yeah, I don't know. As an overall series, I think it is worth reading, obviously, but at the same time, I'm not sure. Anyway, so I think I'm going to give The Final Gambit a 3 because I'm not a chess person. God knows what the Final Gambit meant the whole time I was reading the Queen's Gambit. I'm just like, they're like, I don't know what the fish, like the clues that she was getting, like QBR and QB4 or something like that. What does that mean? Like, I'm not a chess person. I had to Google that shit up, okay? So, not for me. But I would recommend it. I think it was an interesting read. I think it's one of those books that you have to read to form an opinion on your own. So, yeah, I would totally recommend that. Now, guys, I should not be on TikTok. I literally just read the prologue, and this is chapter 1 of Haunting Aladdin. I'm terrified. I am actually terrified. He's watching me. He's always watching me. I'm like, where's my windows at? Astaghfirullah. I totally recommend. I'm like 0.1% in, I think. I don't even know what it is, but go read. It's 500 something pages. I didn't know that. But once you commit, you gotta commit. I'll see you guys in a bit. It's also 10 p.m. Fingers crossed I sleep before 12. Let's see what happens. So I've just met him. And I'm a bit like, this is scary, you know? The weirdo that was staring at her in the bookshop was him. I don't know how people fantasize about this, because I'm getting a little bit creeped out here. Like, he's like, she looked at me and he said, I know I need to leave now before I do something stupid like kidnap her in front of at least 50 people. 50 witnesses, no matter. She won't be able to escape me now. I've found myself a little mouse and I won't stop until I've trapped her. You just saw her name outside and knew that she was doing a book reading. And then you came into the bookstore and you looked at her and you're like, wow. And then you heard her talking and you're like, oh my days. He wanted to groan. And now he's like, I need to get her. I'm a bit like, I don't understand the fascination, the inflection. I can't even say it properly. In fact, I can't say. I might want to try with her. Like, don't mind me. We shall continue. And also, I read like this. In case you're wondering, I'm in bed and I'm holding this like this until I can't read no more, and then I just kind of put it down on there, you know. So yeah. And I keep picking up the blanket because I don't know where I put my hijab. I've obviously got 100 of them, but I just can't be asked to get up, you know? So there's that. Just in case I forget to mention this later, the grandma is on crack. Absolutely on crack. She alright? How is she letting someone that has been watching her through the window come into the house and caress her cheek? And she's like, I've wanted to hear him speak no matter how many times he comes up. How many times he's come over? 1944. He caresses my cheek and walks away without saying anything. I started to offer him bad things. A kiss, a touch. He just smiles and walks away. I'm there like, grandma was 110% on crack. I've been seeing her letters. This is like the 4th letter, and I'm just there like, I need to mention this. I need to mention this before I forget. WTF? And I just want to say, Adeline, she probably also is on crack. She's giving me them white girl in movies, you know? You know how the black people run away when they sense danger? Yeah, she just walking towards it. Someone broke into her house and left the rose on the table. When I say someone broke into her house, like there was no physical evidence there was any breakage or like someone came in or anything. She just heard the front door close, and then she went to inspect and she couldn't see any exits or entry or anything. And she even tried to open the front door and it was locked. So she's like, whoever came in must have come in somewhere else. Let me inspect. She sees a rose on the table and she's like, let me inspect everywhere else. She gets a bit creeped out by the attic. she just feels like a strong feeling not to go in there. And then she's like, okay, whatever, she'll just go back to bed. She goes back to bed. Kind of. She kind of goes back to bed, but still. I'm just there like, what the heck? Anyway, I shall continue and wish me luck. I think it's still her point of view, so it's kind of put from her point of view and his point of view. So chapter 1 was her point of view, chapter 2 was her point of view, chapter 3 was his, 4, 5 is hers. So her chapter is called The Manipulator, and then his chapter is called The Shadow. So that kind of threw me off, because when I saw his chapter The Shadow, I was just like, okay, what did the first one say? Because I didn't really pay attention. And then, because I just automatically thought there was no perspective, because it says chapter 1 and it just says, normally it would say B's POV, for example, and Josh's POV, something like that, or just say Josh B, whatever, but no. So yeah, that's kind of throwing me off. Yeah, so I don't know why he's called the Shadow, but we shall see. So far, what I know is she's the mouse in this cat and mouse duet book. But yeah, still don't know his name and what he does. He's a hacker. That's all I know. She's got a best friend. She does computer science. Adeline dropped out of college and she lives in a mansion that her grandma left her. Her mom's a bit of a beach, so there's that. That's all the information I've got. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Chapter 5, and the time is 11:06. So I'll see you guys in a bit as well. I'm gonna stay up a little bit longer. I have no idea where I left you guys at, but I'm 100 pages in. And I think Shadow, aka Zed, is mentally disturbed. Let me read you exactly where I am. It was bad enough that he spoke of my girl, they haven't met by the way, in such a disgusting manner. But then he went and topped it off by implying Addie isn't anything special. She's the first of her kind to exist and there will never be another like her. Is he aware? I just want to know. Is he aware that he's nothing but a stalker right now, or? So what you've missed is she went on a date. Not a date, but she went to the club. And then this guy picked her up, and then she got a text from the Shadow saying, if that guy touches you, you'll be getting fingers mailed to your house in the morning. And then she's like, who does he think he is? The stalker ruining my night, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I could care less. So the guy asked, are you okay, blah, blah, after her being there for an hour. And she's like, yeah, everything's Gucci. And then he's like, okay, so can I go take you home? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, oh my God, what if it's real? What if the stalker really wants to kill? Blah, blah, blah. She's like, you know what? That's none of my business. And then they go home together. And then she says, basically, I want my best friend to go home before, we go anywhere. And then he's like, okay, fine, I can make sure that happens. That happens. They go home together, and then she goes to the living room section. She was like, the bedroom, what the hell? Then she lets him play with her or whatever. And then before it can escalate, she hears banging. And then the guy's like, oh my God, you stay here while I go check it out. And then she goes, and the guy doesn't come back. Now she's like, I feel guilty. Da, da, da. She walks outside and she sees a rose with blood in it. Now we know that he did it. And now we know that he's with the guy. AKA he's saying she's the first of her kind to exist. Based on what? I'm sorry. I don't know if it's just me, but based on what? What? Why are you killing someone for a person that you met while you were strolling on the road and you saw a sign that says bookshop, and then you just saw her picture, and now you're killing people because they're touching her? Like, I don't understand. I saw a TikTok earlier today that said that he can murder for me, but he can never cheat. Like, I can stand murdering, but I can't stand cheating. I do get that somehow, but this stalker, I don't know how I feel. Anyway, I'll keep you guys updated. It's midnight. It's literally 12:06. Did I say it was 11:06 earlier? I don't know. Anyway, it's been an hour. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm not that tired. Hi guys. So it is the next night. It's 10:25. It's like I love recording at these times. But have I finished Hunting Adeline? No. I am currently, I believe, 80-something% in the book. And I'm just baffled by the amount of things that are happening. The sexual content in this book is too much, but it's like I don't understand it. This guy is your stalker. Like, I feel like I just, no matter what happens, no matter, I'm like, oh my god, he's so nice. Like, he's a vigilante. He's killing people that are human trafficking. That means nothing to me when I remember that he's a stalker. I feel like Adeline, this dumbass bitch, does not understand. Her friend Daya, her best friend Daya, she's just like, oh my god, I know you would die hard for that. And they're like, she's like, oh, because you just wanted to get laid and stuff like that. I'm the head, I'm like, stalker. So, yeah, I'm on chapter 37. I'm 89% in, right? In my head, I'm like, there was a part, like, it's called Satan's Affair, where in Halloween. So I knew when she said she wants to book her tickets to go to the Halloween thing, Satan Affair, I was like, Samira, you've heard of that before? And I thought, it is, okay, let's just ignore it. And I have, because I've started reading it a few weeks back. And then I couldn't get into it because of how horrific it was. Like, killing and, like, enjoying the killing of people and then, like, getting off on it. I was just like, no, not my cup of tea. I don't know how much I read, maybe 10, 15, 20%. And then I was like, DNF. I think one of the first books I've ever DNF'd. So I was just like, yeah, I can't read this. And then I just saw it. So when I saw her name, H.D. Carlton, at the bottom, I think this is by her, right? Like, I'm not just saying, yep, there's no way of knowing. I've got 20% of a freaking battery on this as well. That means, oh, yep, H.D. Carlton, yeah. So it is the same person that probably wrote it. Would you look at that? It is. So I was like, Satan's Affair. I was like, okay. And then it was like the what kind of I thought about it. I was like, oh, the whole circus thing. Circus, is it a circus? It's like a theme Halloween park. And I'm there like, okay, I've heard of this. Is it that? And then they go to the Halloween, and then he also books the Halloween tickets because he needs to stalk Mark and all of that people, right? So then I already knew that they're gonna meet up there, sort of thing. I don't know when I left you guys, but they saw each other in public in the broad daylight and for the first time. And this girl, instead of saying, oh my god, my stalker is there, she was like, hi, yes, I am the girlfriend. My name's Adeline. And they're like, that's dumb. I don't understand. And then she's like, slowly falling for him. Like, there was a time he was vulnerable where he came because one of the girls died that he was meant to rescue, all sad and that. And she's out there taking knots out of his muscles on his shoulder, de-stressing him. And I'm there like, this is your stalker, in case we've forgotten. And I know I keep repeating myself because that's how much time she tells herself. It's just that she's just not letting it register, you know? Anywho, so yeah, the Satan Affair, I remember that. And yeah, they killed the 4 guys in there with the help of the crazy psycho Sybil or Sibby. And I'm there like, yes, it definitely is her. I just didn't finish that book for me to know that the 4 guys that were helping her out in the beginning of the book were all imaginary. Sorry if I ruined that book for you too. I don't recommend Satan's Affair either. I don't know if I recommend this one. Because now, Annabelle, sorry, that's not her name. Adeline. I just ruined the way I was saying her name the whole time. She is getting to a point where she's like conflicted with her feelings. She doesn't know what she's feeling about him. She knows he's a stalker. She knows he's dangerous, but she knows that he loves her, and she's kind of conflicted because she's like, you're a stalker. You can't be my lover because you're forcing me to do a lot of things, sexual things. So it's sexual, but it's consensual. Makes no sense. So that's why I'm kind of like, I'm at 87, 89%. I am going to finish this book. There's no way I'm DNFing at 89%. Come on, like I've tortured myself enough. Also, we don't know who freaking killed the grandma, Gigi. I think it's Frank at this point, you know, Mark's dad. But we don't know. Oh yeah, there was a point I wanted to make earlier when I was reading it, but I couldn't because I had to go get a hijab and I couldn't be asked. It was the point where he was kind of telling her about, she was like, what made you think about, why did you choose this life, sort of thing. And then he was like, oh, you want me to say that my dad and mom basically beat me or something, like some sort of abuse past. But he's like, no, I chose this life because something, you know, all serious talk, right? There has like a full ass serious talk. And then she's looking at him like, with her eyes glistening and like feelings, you know, oh my God, like I can't believe I admire you. And then in that moment, he's like, I'm so hard for you. I'm there like, this guy, can we be serious for like 5 seconds, please? And someone was like, I love book suckers because any book they recommend, I'm gonna read. And in my head now, I'm like, question mark, question mark, question mark. Anyway, what about 10%, 11% left? So let's just get this done over with because this is gonna be a long, long day. I should be done in an hour, right? 11:30. I'm gonna give myself 11:30. It's currently 10:31, so yeah, see you guys in an hour. So the previous video was recorded on the 23rd of February. Today's 1st of March, guys. I will try to upload this by tomorrow anyway. But guys, I was 80%, 89% on the 23rd. It's been a week and your girl has not touched. I haven't picked this up because it's just, it has put me in a reading slump. Like, this book was so bad. Like, you know when you stop reading a book and you just can't get back into it? This was the book. Like, I have usually, like, the other book that I had with this was Are You Awake? And that took me 2 months to finish. Like, for God's sake, it wasn't even that long. The freaking Inheritance Game took me 3 days combined. Like, come on, Hunt and Adeline. It was just, I do not recommend it in any shape or form. I'm giving this a 1 star. I don't understand why people kept recommending it. I don't know why it comes on my TBR. Sorry, on my timeline. I really don't understand. It's got a 4.10 rating on freaking Goodreads. I'm sure عارف why. So there's that. That is my recap of this. So let's go into my next month's read, aka this month. So we're just gonna DNF on the line. Okay, we're not even gonna go to it. So the Davenports. So I have asked kindly of my friend Aisha to give me a books that I have to read, and it's a no-brainer. I know I said I'm gonna read The Court of Mist and Fury and Cersei, but Adeline kind of threw me off. I could have totally read it, but I'm not gonna do that again. So I've asked Aisha to give me some books to read. So what I'm gonna do is, like, I'm gonna divide the month of March into like 4 weeks, obviously, but I'm gonna ask someone each week. So then the first week's gonna be Aisha's week. So we're gonna be reading The Davenports by Marcus Crystal Marcus. That makes more sense. The No Show by Beth O'Leary, and I really, really loved her book on The Flat Share. Not gonna watch the movie, but there's that. The next book is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. And I just want to say that The Dead Romantics is a 4-star rating. The No Show is a 3.8 and The Downfall is 3.8. Wow, 3.87. Girl. Cersei is a book I really want to read this month. So those are the 4 books that I'm going to try and read this week. Should we count this day because the girl didn't read anything? You know what? March 8th, I should read this all. I'm gonna give myself that. I have asked her sister Howard to kind of recommend me 3 books. I'm gonna give her 3 because she just, I don't know what the fish she's gonna recommend to me. And then I'm gonna see. I'm gonna ask my sister horror. My older sister loves some horror and stuff. And then I'm gonna ask my sister-in-law to recommend me. So I think I'm gonna divide the month like that and see how it goes. Ooh, sister-in-law, husband. I don't know. I'm gonna see how I feel. So yeah, If you guys enjoy my book talk, let me know down in the comments below. You guys are not really a fan of commenting, I realized. Side-eye. So please do comment, like, share, and subscribe. Emphasis on the comment. I need to know your thoughts, guys. And thanks for watching. Bye, guys.